Good morning, children. This is a really lovely story that's set in springtime, which is what we're in now, and it's called The Bog Baby by Jean Willis and Gwen Millward. Long ago when we were little, me and Chrissy did something bad. We said we were going to Annie's house to play, but we didn't. We went fishing all by ourselves, which wasn't allowed. Chrissy said there was a magic pond in Bluebell Wood. It was only ever there in spring. When it rained, it made a huge puddle in the dell, and pond creatures came. We could fish for newt, she said. I won't tell if you won't. So off we went. We found the pond. It was squelchy round the edge. The bluebells squeaked under our boots. We fished and fished, but we didn't catch a newt. We caught something much better. We caught a bog baby. He was the size of a frog, only round and blue, and he had boggly eyes and a spiky tail. And I do remember he had ears like a mouse. He came swinging through the flower stalks and jumped into the water. He floated up and down on his back and sucked his toes. That's when I fished him out. He didn't struggle. He lay in my hand and looked surprised. He was as soft as jelly, like he had no bones, and when we stroked him, he flapped his wings. They were no bigger than daisy petals. They seemed too small for him to fly. Chrissy said he might be able to fly if we blew on his wings. We blew and blew, but all we did was blow him onto the mud. He didn't try to escape. He just sat still with his paws over his eyes. We put him in a jam jar and took him home and hid him in the shed. He was our bog baby. He wasn't meant to be a secret. We wanted to show Mum, but we daren't. If we did, she'd know that we hadn't gone to Annie's. We made our bog baby a beautiful home in a bucket. Gravel, shells, clean water. Whenever he saw us, he jumped up and down, and we picked him up and played with him. He was very ticklish, and we fed him on cake crumble. We loved our bog baby. Our friends loved him too. We sneaked him into school in a margarine tub. When the teacher wasn't looking, he played in the sandpit and the water tray. And in the afternoon, he slept in his tub on a piece of damp cotton wool. Chrissy made him a collar and a lead, and we took him for walks in the field. Once a crow nearly ate him, but we scared it away just in time. We took great care of our bog baby. At least we tried, but he got sick. He didn't jump up and down anymore. He went pale and his wings drooped. He wouldn't touch his cake crumble. We gave him all sorts, but he spat them out. We wanted to ask Mum for help, but we daren't because of Annie. But the bog baby got thinner. Here he is, look. He wouldn't walk on his lead, and he hid under his shell. He wouldn't come out no matter how much we loved him. Mum found us in the shed. Chrissy wouldn't say why we were crying. We'd promised not to tell her, but I blabbed. Mum wasn't angry, though. When she saw who was in the bucket, she smiled and her eyes went misty. She said she hadn't seen a bog baby since she was little. Please make him better, we cried, because we love him so much. I know, she said, but the bog baby is a wild thing. He doesn't belong here. He isn't meant to eat cake or walk on a lead or sleep in a tub. She picked up the bucket and we followed her out. If we really loved the bog baby, we had to do what was best for him, no matter how much it hurt us. That was real love. Real love. That's why we let him go. back where he belonged, living in the wood, playing in the pond, sleeping in the damp leaves under the moon. We never saw him again. I think he grew up and had babies of his own. Last spring, my daughter found the magic pond, and guess what she saw? Hundreds of bog babies swinging through the bluebells, catching flies, floating on their backs, sucking their toes. That's what she told me, and that's what I believe. That's the end of the story. That's such a lovely story, the Bog Baby. And I made my own little Bog Baby. Can you see? I made my Bog Baby. I gave him a tail. If you look at the picture of him, I gave him some eyes, and he's got his wings on as well. I wondered if you could make your Bog Baby. I made my Bog Baby just from some old plastic bag. I just used an old plastic carrier bag and an old plastic sandwich bag and some scissors and glue and sellotape, and I put him together, and then I'm going to use him and put him into a little pond. I'm going to make my own pond. See if you can make one. You could also use Play-Doh or draw one. Let's see what you can make. Bye-bye.